very curious new developments regarding the death of former Boeing employee John Barnett, who raised concerns about the company's safety and production standards. He was found dead on the 9th of March before he could provide his final deposition in an ongoing lawsuit against Boeing. Now, get this. According to a family friend, the whistleblower allegedly told her, quote, "If anything happens, it's not suicide." So a number of issues being reported, obviously, raising a lot of concerns, including not just about the planes, but the circumstances of this former employee's death under, suspicious circumstances, has been ruled a suicide, according to Newsweek, found with a silver handgun and a white piece of paper resembling a note. The police department is still making inquiries, and, given that he had previously said, if I'm found to have committed suicide, don't believe that. I absolutely understand why people are going to want to take a very close look at this.
Yeah, also, he has been a whistleblower for years now, but because of the reporting around all of these incidences with these Boeing 737 jets, his testimony has been getting more scrutiny. Now, remember, the testimony he was giving was about retaliation for previous testimony that he had given about the manufacturing issues with these kinds of planes. Recall, there's an expert that we've had on this show, I've had on my own show as well, William McGee, an aviation expert, who pointed out that while at one time the saying was, if it ain't Boeing, I ain't going, because of a shift in policy at the company where there have been more investments in stock buybacks and kind of corporate enrichment instead of investing in the kind of safety and the support of employees, there have been a growing number of these incidents that have emerged. And something that the deceased Barnett said in a New York Times interview back in 2019 was that he hasn't seen a plane out of Charleston yet that I'd put my name on saying it's safe and airworthy. He believed that he was being retaliated because of making those kind of comments. And also because he apparently was one of the best witnesses that lawyers had ever seen. This is a write-up from Yahoo Finance about the testimony that he was given just before he died. He said, John testified for 4 hours in questioning by my co-counsel, Brian. This is from a fellow named Turkowitz. This was following 7 hours of cross-examination by Boeing lawyers on Thursday. He was really happy to be telling his side of the story, excited to be fielding our questions, doing a great job. It was explosive stuff. As I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, this is the best witness I've ever seen. At one point, says Turkowitz, the Boeing lawyer protested that Barnett was reciting the details of incidents from a decade ago and specific dates without looking at documents. As Turkowitz recalls the exchange, Barnett fired back, I know these documents inside out. I've had to live it. Now, I do think that the compelling nature of this particular witness, the timing of his death, is what's leading there to be so much inquiry and interest around how it is that this person, who at least one friend has averred did not have any suicidal ideation, was frankly happy about his concerns getting a lot of airing because of the national interest in these Boeing flights, taking his own life. For sure. So they should continue to look in that. And at a time where we're looking very closely at Boeing, given all these safety incidents that I think have people very, very, very spooked. I know our last video on this was a big hit, a lot of views. So clearly people have concerns about flying on these planes now. A company that used to have a really sterling record for safety, and thankfully, and I do say this when we talk about this, that has not resulted yet in planes crashing or falling out of the sky, but could if not taken seriously. And the track record in the air industry of a fairly sterling safety record of a very low number of crashes, I think no crashes, at least in America in the last 10 years, and very, very few deaths, is a good one that we should want to continue, not allow to lapse because of lack safety standards. Yeah, I think we should definitely get Bill McGee back on to kind of refresh our memory about what it is, what the kind of systemic changes at the company have been that may have led to some of these malfunctions. Go back and you can listen to him on Rising in the past. And I've also talked to him at length over on Bad Faith Podcast if you're interested in knowing more about that. And stick around. We have more Rising for you coming up next.